Abraham, who researched it all, he understood that it's probably the law of nature, that this is how it works on a society that grew up, that is more mature, that is more developed, like with a child that grows up. And he understood that nature that is developing this egoistic law, that the ego is constantly growing between people, it's growing in order to allow people to actually connect above the ego. Because in the oppositeness between the ego and what's above it, in the oppositeness between these two forces, can they understand the laws of nature, the two forces that act in nature, the separating and the connecting forces? And the depth is between them. Yes, the special state is between these two. And he started explaining this to people. And a special group was formed that in the future will be called Israel. What do we want to understand from here? That first of all, there are people from those ancient Babylonians that start feeling both the egoistic force and also the opposite force, the altruistic force, the force of connection that connects them. And people that have these two forces are called Jews because by nature they are directed towards connection, unity, and the rest of the people that did not receive the drive for connection, the desire for it, are called the nations of the world. And what force do they have? Only the simple egoistic force, and also not that big. The altruistic force that grows in a person also demands or needs the increasing of the egoistic force. And so what we have is a group that includes both forces of nature, the positive and as if the negative. And this group is developed. And there is a group that is less developed because it doesn't need to develop that much in its egoistic force. Because what they have is enough for them in order to live their life. And they have no need to develop the altruistic force. They have just one force. Yeah. And so we see that in that part of humanity called the people of Israel that have these two forces, first of all, they're very opposed to one another, in contradiction with one another and with themselves, because they all have these two opposite forces in them. These are people that can't that easily get along neither with themselves nor with others, because they're in conflict. They're in an inner struggle between them. And this is what we're witnessing to this day in every Jew. That they consist of the Gentile and the Jewish part in them. And therefore, they're in inner restlessness. And this is the answer to what you have asked, where are there Jews that hate themselves? In each and every Jew, there is a force that hates himself. Because in him there is an egoistic, very big egoistic part of the will to receive in him. And if he does not balance himself out with the altruistic force, then of course he has self-hate.